Thanks for logging on to myfoxhurricane.com. 14 days left in the hurricane season, but despite being right at the end of the season, and this is typically a quiet time of the year, we do have some areas that we're watching. The first one is down in the Caribbean. This has now been designated as Invest 98. And we've been talking about this one for several days. Hurricane Center has now given that designation to the system. This is that broad area of low pressure, which is sitting down across the south and the southwestern Caribbean. And this has been hanging out for several days. And that's the thing. When these things hang out for several days, it gives them more opportunity to start to get better organized. And that's what we're starting to see, a little bit more organization. Now, you look at this and you can tell this is still not a well-organized system. It still has a ways to go. So in the short term, probably not going to see much happening with this, but the Air Force reconnaissance plane is flying down to this system later on this afternoon, or at least they are scheduled to fly down there. We'll see if that schedule goes ahead and takes place, because they want to get a better idea of exactly what's going on down here. Do we actually have a tropical depression forming? Because it's possible over the next couple of days even that we could have a tropical system that develops down to our south. And the motion with this would basically be on to the north and the east. Here's that other area that we're watching. This is an area of low pressure that basically formed late yesterday right near the Keys, and it has been working its way to the north and west, just kind of very slowly, but on radar, this is at times almost looked like a tropical system, but this is a non-tropical low. It's going to continue to work its way to the north and east. It is bringing a lot of heavy rain, and that will continue to spread up towards the Bahamas and eventually just kind of riding up the coastline. At this point, does not look like it would become tropical. It will continue to bring some gusty winds. In fact, places like Fort Lauderdale early this morning, they had winds between about 30 miles an hour, gusting up to about 50 to 51 miles an hour. So it has been bringing some pretty strong winds. It's moving away from Florida now, but we're going to watch this in case it does start to acquire some tropical characteristics. So here's the Fox model. We're looking at these two different areas, and as we step through time, you see what happens. They're both working their way on that northeasterly direction, but you're really not seeing a whole lot of organization from either one of these systems. Certainly this one to the north does not look tropical. It looks a lot more like a non-tropical low working its way on towards the north. And in fact, that second one does kind of have that appearance as well. But as we go through time, we're going to watch to see if it acquires more tropical characteristics, and indeed this ends up being a tropical depression or a tropical storm as we head into the weekend. So we'll keep monitoring both of these areas, and we'll keep you updated right here on myfoxhurricane.com.